And we are live on
can't hear you.
Monday. You can't hear me? You can't hear me? Okay.
Wait a minute.
Can we now?
And out of one ear, I can.
Okay.
Um,
Is it working now?
in one ear.
In one ear?
In one ear.
Okay. It should.
Let's see. Say something. Say
something. Say something. Nothing. It's not working.
Mm-mm.
Should I end stream real quick? Or no? I can't end stream.
No, don't end stream. But
Okay.
here, you put them on and put them on so that you can get them working right.
Okay. Right.
We usually test this before we go live, but this is the one time that we did not.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep. That's why.
User error.
Okay. Test it. Yep. Good.
Good deal. Good deal. Listen. Okay.
All right. Now you're good.
I'm good.
Is Lindsey up and working? See, I always got to fix everything. Good night, everybody. I mean, good night, everybody. Not good night. Hello, whatever.
Good evening.
Good evening. We're here to do this live we interviewed Bryce Sawyer, who's part of the group Preds versus Prey that's kind of become viral over the weekend in the local area about the Fowler GMC sting of alleged sexual predator Hector'S. And we've had a lot of developments since our interview with Bryce over lunch today.
I mean, this started last night.
It started last night, and we'll get into that. We interviewed Bryce, and we'll talk about that a little bit too. But I know everybody's kind of might be Bryced out and the whole whatever situation out. But our discussion of this issue, which we did last night and on air today, has sparked a little fury with Mr. Custodes' baby's mama, which we didn't know. Go ahead.
Yeah.
We didn't know was his baby's mama until
let me say, but that's
what?
That's common.
What?
But that's the whole day started off crazy.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, I became them. My name became them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I know nobody thinks my pronouns have become they, them, right?
Yeah. So anyway, well, yeah.
Everybody knows that would be the last thing I would be called.
Right. Sure. No, I understand. Yeah.
Okay. Well, guess what? My name is not them. It's Lindsey. Okay. And if anybody needs to remember what my name is, it's Lindsey. And there is a show from 12 to 1 on WAB called Crossing the Aisle with Shaun and Lindsey. Not Shaun and them.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. You're correct.
Usually am.
Okay, well, you go ahead and tell them about what else happened.
Well, last night we started getting these messages, right?
Yep. Yeah. Go ahead.
And so it seemed as though this woman thought that she knew Shaun, or that I thought she was trying to say she was an attorney at first.
Yeah, I'm just go ahead. What else happened?
And so she was commenting on our live. We were live last night, and she was commenting and saying some pretty derogatory things.
Yeah.
And so then there started to be some messages back and forth on your private messenger.
Yeah, I started getting messages from this woman, Paige Smith, who she actually commented on our live from last night regarding, I think, what did she say? She thought you were drunk or something.
Thought I was drunk. And then she said that again today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so she had made some comments, and then Lindsey and her got into a little debate on the thread and about that. And then she private messaged me very weird messages. And I'll read them to you, actually, if I can pull them back on. I had to eventually block this woman because it was kind of freaking me out. And it says, I think I'd written to her, do we know each other? And she had said that, and then she said, private message, we don't have to know each other to understand a code of ethics. This whole thing is sloppy. I wish you the best in your pursuits, but it's a sad day for criminal defense. Good luck. You'll have to sit with these questions, and you'll lose a lot of respect for clicks and views. And I don't know what she was, messaging me. I don't know what her dispute with me was, because I was actually taking the opposite side about, I disagreed with the operation, not the outing of Mr. Custodes, but the actual sting operation at the dealership. So, but she, and then I got a message from her today that said, just remember, going live today with Bryce could be a nail in your coffin. Clay Edwards exposed him as an incompetent liar. Protect your dignity and don't allow vulgarity or ignorance on your show, which I just, again, didn't really know what she meant by that. So I said, trust me, I've been through a lot in all my years as a prosecutor. For Bryce to be in my nail in my coffin, that's the last of my concern. But thank you for your concern, is what I told her. And she said, nail in your coffin, meaning your journalistic pursuits. I don't know. I took a lot of this as a threat. I thought it was really, really weird. And then we did our interview with Bryce, and she was just commenting constantly through the thread, and constantly, and just a
Yeah.
bunch of stuff.
I
And
didn't know this at the time. I was, on the other side of the room and did not know that she was sending all these messages or putting all these comments.
yeah,
I wasn't even running the board and I didn't see all of that. You did.
right, correct, yeah. And so I was noticing all this was constantly nonstop, and I didn't know. Again, at this point, we don't know who this woman is. We just have to
No.
choose a crazy person that's messaging, and I don't know. I mean, I was kind of getting worried because I was like, who is this lunatic? And sometimes when you do media and stuff, you get these little psychopaths occasionally. They show up, or you don't know. I mean, I've gotten some weird messages over the last couple of years, and here and there, but nothing to the extent of like this, to where I felt like she was kind of making me feel unsafe. It's kind of the way I felt about it, like I was getting threatened or something. And then after that, after the interview, I just decided I'm going to block her, and apparently
You did that before I could see the comments.
yeah, I
You
did,
didn't want me
right.
seeing those comments.
Yeah, I did. And so I just, yeah, because he was calling you a drunk again. I knew you were going to get pissed.
I mean,
So
I'm
I
like,
was like,
it's
I'm
not even,
going to get rid of this real quick.
it's not
Like,
even noon yet. Like, I mean, I promise I can show you drunk, but I'm not there yet.
yeah. Well, I was like, I don't want to get into this again. So I freaking blocked it and decided, I was like, oh my God, and then I told her afterwards, she was making comments like that, and just comments to the references of, attacking Bryce. And if anybody listened to the interview, I wasn't attacking him. I had
I
specific
mean, I
questions.
feel like we were in court, to be honest. I think Sean's attorney side took over,
Yeah.
and every time we would go to commercial break, I was like, Sean, this is not a trial. Like, back up a little bit. Like, back off a little bit.
Well, I had specific questions I wanted to ask him. Obviously, I'll commend him for a noble purpose in starting the chats and stuff, but I don't agree with his methods of going into the dealership. I think that was completely unfounded. And I got him during my lawyer questioning to agree with me.
During the trial that you put him on.
To agree, and he agreed with me that was not something he probably should have done. He should have contacted law enforcement, and that's all I wanted. I wanted him to agree with me that was not the appropriate way to handle this, which has been my position all along. Not his idea of doing this or getting sexual predators, just the methods of doing this sting operation was very dangerous for everybody at that dealership.
But he also asked you, like, so what should I do if I take this to law enforcement and they don't do anything with it? Should I just just let it go? And you kind of said yes. And I mean, I still disagree there. I think these people need to be exposed.
Well, I never said yes. I said he shouldn't do the sting operation. I said that he can still dump the information on the internet like he did. I mean, he was able to do that. And then we also got into another aspect where people from, let's say I've spoken to people at Fowler, and they're upset that they, were on the video. It was unfair to them. Well, I asked him that question. I said, why did you put them on the video? They are not. They're innocent in this. And he
said
agreed.
maybe I should have blurred them out. I didn't have that software. Maybe that will be something he does do in the future, because he's not going to stop doing these.
Or he
these things.
could have videoed the thing and then edited it and dropped it later.
That's what I think that's what he was saying. He didn't have the software to do that, but I think that might be something he looks into.
Well, he could.
into the future.
I'm certainly he had the software to just do a video recording. We all have that on our phones. You can do a video recording. He just wanted to go Facebook Live, and that was my issue with that. I think he could have recorded and dropped it on the internet, and would have just done the same. But so that was the issue, and he agreed. Look, to his credit, he agreed with me that he made missteps in this and shouldn't have done those things. And that was all I was
learning. That he's been doing this less than a year, and he said he learns more with every single contact he comes in. And because that comes into play, he learns more.
Yeah, I mean, and another questions I asked him were about, had he looked at the actual statue, and at the first initially he said he had not, and then later he kind of said he had, and he said, well, I think it's similar to Arkansas law.
I think he was a little confused. I think he initially, because he's from Arkansas, I think he was talking about the Arkansas statute, but then he had looked at Mississippi's, but didn't know it offhand.
Yeah, and I think that's important for him to know, because what I asked him, if you listen to it, to describe the steps, the crime, I believe, would be exploitation of a minor, and he didn't meet that threshold in my mind. So I'm telling you, this is my prediction. Hector's custodian will never be arrested for this because the evidence isn't there.
If you have asked a 15-year-old girl to meet up 8 different times as a 36-year-old man, you should be rotting under the jail.
Well, I mean,
Period. End of story.
yeah, and I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying, but you do need the proper evidence to do that. That's the thing.
I don't know what more you could possibly
Well,
need
you
than
have to.
asking
Well, that's why
what you believe to be a 15-year-old to meet up.
that's why this is supposed to be left to professionals, and there's a statute that you have to go by, and to meet those evidentiary thresholds. And he sounds like to me, from what I gathered, he did not do that because what it says is you have to have entice somebody to meet up for the purposes of sex, and it didn't sound like that ever happened from what he
Anyway,
said.
we hashed all this out today,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then comes crazy baby mama.
Right. I didn't mean to get all the interview portion, but yeah. So crazy baby mama, lunatic baby
We
mama.
didn't know that's who she was initially.
Yeah. I mean, and so we didn't, and I didn't. I learned that this afternoon that that's who she was, and so it kind of made sense. Her tone about her protective of Hector. I mean, think about it. I don't know. Like they got a kid together. That's why we're calling her baby mama. So I mean, I don't know if she's worried about the child support
Yeah,
check or.
I think that you made that comment earlier, and I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. And maybe she's worried about. But I also know that Hector had said in the video that she was an alcoholic and she wasn't around much, even though they're supposedly have this shared custody. Um, so I'm not really sure about that. Or I mean, to me, it seems like she's definitely on something.
Yeah.
That's definitely how it seems. And she, after you blocked her, she began to call friends of yours like numerous times over and over and over through Messenger on Facebook, and asking people to talk to her, and saying that I have screenshots, and you want to talk about this attorney wants to talk about my kid, but he won't talk to me. But you didn't know idea who this crazy woman was.
No, no, yeah, I had no idea. And then you showed me that after I blocked her, she had like shared some of our messages on Facebook or something.
Yeah.
And I can't remember exactly what those said, but the were the ones I was just reading to you, that I responded like, "Thanks for your concern. I've had other nails in my coffin in the past, believe me, and you can go f yourself." But I didn't tell her that, but I almost felt like telling that. Don't threaten me and tell me that this is a nail in my coffin because I'm interviewing a guy from a predator group. Which again, I asked him tough questions, he answered them fairly, and that was it. That's the way it's supposed to work in this business. I didn't. He wasn't combative. I wasn't combative. We had a discussion. I disagreed with him. He disagreed with me. But we came to a consensus on certain things, and that's the way it goes. I don't know what she wanted me to do, rip his head off or whatever. I wasn't going to do that. I mean, he was a guest on the show. I thought it was something to talk to him about. But he's mad. She's mad because now, I mean, it's out there. Her baby daddy is trying to bang 15-year-olds. Yeah, it pisses her off, I guess. Whatever. Sorry, lady. I hate that for you. I don't know what to tell you. I voiced my disagreement with the operation. But what I did not disagree with was outing somebody that was trying to bang a 15-year-old. That I did not disagree with, and I don't think anybody in the community disagrees with that.
Do you think she felt you weren't hard enough on him, or do you think she felt like she was, because the fact you were going after him was going to hurt her in the long run?
Yeah, I mean, maybe a mix of both. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if she's like it's still a love thing because I just saw pictures of her just recently got engaged to somebody. God bless you, dude.
Because then she then she went and tried to add Shaun on Instagram.
Yeah, she like stalked me to Instagram and like I don't, I mean, it's just it was wild. It was very wild. I don't think that's cool, lady. And if that continues, I'm going to contact the police. So, it's just I don't think that's appropriate things to do. So.
No, and then I mean, today's just been so crazy because at the same time I'm getting this person who has all of a sudden started to comment on my child and his vaccine injury, and all of this is happening kind of.
There's another internet personality that we've noticed, and his name is what now?
It's Saul
Goodman, the character from Breaking Bad, the lawyer from Breaking, which is actually a really good show.
Yeah, it is. But I thought maybe because it was the lawyer, maybe that this Saul character, which is obviously a fake profile. There's no pictures of any human beings, and there's no friends, and I think the profile only follows like 13 accounts on one of them. But I was like, maybe this is her, as another account. But I really, to be honest, I'm not sure. I think this account went after several different people today and said some pretty nasty things. And all of this was kind of happening at the same time.
It seems to me that, of all the stories that we've covered, all the time, it's this one really hit a lot of people in different ways, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. And I knew the second I saw it Friday afternoon, I told you, I said, this is going to be, it's going to be a big story. Like, this is something we need to hone in on right now because people are going to care about this. Yep. And I do want to make the comment that last night we went live, and I may have been a little harsh concerning the dealership because they had not made a statement yet. And I said, where's their statement? I feel like they should make a statement. And this morning when we woke up, there was this statement that couldn't have been any more perfect. I think they handled it. They couldn't have handled it any better.
Yeah, in full candor, I spoke to representatives of the dealership. Great people. They're trying to do their best. They've done nothing wrong
They
in the
fired
situation.
within 30 minutes. They fired him.
Yeah, they did that. They've done nothing. They've been a staple of the community for decades. It was unfair. In my
years.
opinion, what happened to them, I don't think that operation should have ever occurred on their premises. I'm a complete objection to that. But I think they were innocent victims in all this for sure.
Yeah, and then later on this afternoon, we found out that there were some the police that our AG's office is attempting to indict have been fired from their jobs.
Yeah, that's right. I believe Michael Reinwald has been terminated from his job, and so has Stephen Frederick from Scott County, which is two different agencies, obviously. But yes, we had that, and that's kind of developed from the indictments that we discussed last week, the manslaughter indictments of Stephen Frederick and Michael Reinwald, and obviously Mr. Reinwald's got a different indictment for aggravated assault with a Jeffrey Walker. So I don't. Walker's already been discharged a while ago.
Right, and then Reinwald was on administrative leave without pay, and up until I guess a few days ago when they terminated him completely, and the Scott County deputy, is it a deputy?
I believe so. That's right.
He was, I guess, the same thing with him. He was, as of last Monday, he was on administrative leave with pay or without pay, and now I guess has been terminated. What we think he's been terminated. It's what we've heard through the grapevine.
Yeah.
So it was like another ding for the. I kind of think like, am I living in the Twilight Zone today? Are we in some sort of simulation? What's happening? Because just seems like a crazy day.
Yeah, it was nuts. I mean, and then of course we got an election tomorrow, the biggest election in our lifetime in Jackson. I know everybody says that this is the most important election. This is the most important if you live in Jackson. It's the most important election of our lifetime. So that's tomorrow. We're going to get into that tomorrow. I don't have the bandwidth right now to discuss all of that.
Well, we were listening to David Archie.
We can talk about David Archie's and his ridiculousness.
The golf, Shaun. The golf.
He talks about something about the golf in Ridgeland, but
he was talking about the Gulf of Mexico being named the Gulf of America, but he was actually talking about golf.
I think it's mad because Chokwe wanted Top Golf and nobody's going to give his dumbass shit, so they didn't. But David Archie basically saying Chokwe's Medgar Evers and Martin Luther King wrapped into one, and therefore he's the greatest in the world.
Some of the comments were just way out there.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Martin Luther King, his "I Have a Dream" speech included Mai Tais in a Fed boat. But I mean, I just
you ever had a Mai Tai?
Yeah, Mai Tai. Mai Tai.
Real good.
No, I mean, like it's just I don't know. I don't think it was strippers, Mai Tais, and Fed boat when Martin Luther King said he had a dream. But it was Chokwe's dream that he fulfilled, of course, and we'll see the outcome of that tomorrow. It's going to be very interesting. John Horn is on election eve making claims about possible voting machine issues.
Yeah, I read that. Where that's coming from? We hadn't had time to look into that because
it's getting stolen elections again.
I mean, David Archie knows all about that.
He does. I mean, he lost by 4 million votes and it was stolen somehow. That's amazing. I've never seen that happen before, but there were literal signs around town that said anybody but David at the time, but you're loved when those are out there.
You're over the target. You're doing something right. They're attacking you, right? When they're calling me drunk at noon, I'm doing something right. I must be over the target.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you've been hit the thing is people don't know you like I know you. Like I know when you're drunk and Thursday night was a good example of this, by the way, because we were like, oh, it's Good Friday, let's go out. And I don't usually like to drink during the weekdays, but we went on Thursday night because nobody.
You don't have to tell Oliver.
Well, yeah, and Lindsey got, wasted.
Well,
white girl wasted.
I didn't mean to. Martin's.
Yeah, Martin's in this drink. Joseph's Dodgel and your evil drinks. I swear to God. A sponsor of WYAB.
I feel fine. I mean, it just tastes like water, and then all of a sudden.
Yeah. So it got it. Yeah. So I know when she's drunk, but you have to know how to deal with her on a daily basis. And that was not drunk. That was just peak level 10 Lindsey. Like she came into the house acting like that, and I was like, oh God, I don't even know if I want to do this live right now because I don't know how bad it's going to get because I know she's like at this point of just madness. And that translated online to where crazy baby mama thought she was drunk and they got into
the same thing at noon today. Yeah. On listening to our radio show.
But you were actually very calm today. You had a different tone on the radio than you did last night during the live. So.
Well, because we're uncensored over here. Well, I'm at the radio station. I'm worrying about the board and I'm looking.
Maybe we need to get you things around here that you have to operate there. Bring your bring you from a 10. Lower to David Spade, you say, like, we have you to 10, we need you to 6. You
I mean,
know,
look
like,
at, well, I have to look at the
that's what we
time. I
could
have to
do.
know when to take the commercial break. You don't have to
Got you to
worry.
10.
You don't worry about any of that over there. You're just talking
Yeah, I know. I'm
and
just talking.
holding court on the radio station today.
Okay, I cross-examined him for like 5 minutes. It wasn't that bad. I just walked. I needed to walk him through the process, and I got him there. He eventually admitted that he should have contacted law enforcement, and that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted, and I got that, and I was happy about it. And I'm glad that he admitted that, and he was fair, and he admitted that. So, he wasn't combative about it. He said, I probably should have called law enforcement. Yes, you should have. There's no dispute about that. People know that that would be the appropriate. He felt that he didn't do that, and he may not do that in the future. But he agreed that that would have been a more appropriate way to handle it. I don't think anybody can disagree with that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's always better to have law enforcement on as backup and on call in case something does get out of hand.
Yeah.
But again, I'll say it again. There's one less sexual predator baby daddy.
But there's a crazy baby mama
There's a
out
crazy
there.
baby mama who is like evidently she's out for blood, I guess.
In our opinion, by the way, it's for defamation purposes. In our opinion, through what I've observed and what messages I've received, lunatic. Because, like, I mean, I just, I've never seen anything like that before.
You know what they say about those redheads?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I don't, she just, I mean, I guess, right. She might be getting a check, a crazy check and a baby check. So, I mean, that could be it. She might be getting a crazy check and a baby check. I don't know. But she like lost it. I mean, the thing is, like, you think like, it's funny because in that same vein, on one of my threads, I had one of Hector's ex-girlfriends comment, and she said, I showed you that. She said, I'm Hector's ex-girlfriend. He texted me the same things he texted the fake 15-year-old, like all this like beat me and eat my ass. Like, here's what he said. That's what he said, wasn't it? I mean, that's what we can say it now. We're on the radio. That's what the messages.
Still, he said her hair, her broken nails wouldn't stop him from doing.
He was gonna eat her ass or something. Didn't he say that? That's what he said.
But can we?
That's what he said.
That's what he said. But can we not say that?
I'm just saying. But apparently, he told his ex-girlfriend something similar to that, and she was relating that on my social media feed. So she wasn't surprised about the kind of messages Custode used. And so, but she seemed like a nice lady, and it wasn't defending him at all. It wasn't like, baby's mama. I
still don't know if this crazy baby mama is defending him or is she mad at. I don't know who she's mad at, to be honest. I don't know what she wanted. I don't understand anything she said.
She was like, he didn't do it.
I mean, but I don't know.
If the phone doesn't fit, you can't.
The glove.
Right.
I don't know if is that what she was. Was she upset that you were not hard enough on him or that you weren't defending him? I don't know what she wanted.
I mean, I thought I was pretty hard on him at lunch hour today, in a nice way. I wasn't, I didn't pull any punches on him.
I couldn't get a word in for a minute there. I was like, Shaun, like, we're not in court.
Well, I mean, I don't know what else more I could ask him. I got him to agree with me. He did the wrong thing. I think that was good enough. Like, so but I guess she wanted me to like beat him over the head. I don't think he deserves that. I think
I think she wanted you to do the interview.
Yeah, maybe just not platform.
She did. Yeah, I think she just didn't want it to be talked about. Maybe.
Well, it's been talked about because it seems like everybody in the community has talked about it, and everybody's got their own opinions on it, and they seem to be vastly different in the way everybody's feeling about it. So she's got one way, and she's got to, she's got to live with it, and good luck for her.
I guess.
I don't know what else to say.
I don't like it when people are mean to me. So
yeah, she was wild. So I mean, but
I hold grudges.
But yeah, and we'll see what happens. I'm gonna follow the trajectory of Mr. Custode through the legal process and see what happens to him. My guess is nothing, but we'll see. Maybe something will happen to him. I just think the case wasn't worked up properly, and they probably won't be able to meet the statute. But we'll see. Maybe they can.
I mean, I checked earlier. I checked last night, and then I checked earlier this afternoon, and I do not see where he has been arrested. So we'll see. But I mean, also, I do know it takes time for those things to happen and to go through all the evidence. I don't know. Maybe he will be.
Well, they're gonna have to verify that those are his messages. This was, went on. There's a lot of things to verify. So, did he actually meet the statutory?
I don't know, Shaun. I don't know. There's anything to verify. It was a live video where he admitted to every.
Yeah, I mean, you've got that, but does that meet the statute?
I mean, it should. He admitted to asking her to meet up with him 8 different times.
Maybe it will. Maybe it will, and maybe it will meet maybe it will meet it. We'll see what the prosecutors have to say about that, and good luck to them in that office. They're great people over there.
They are
dealing with this guy. You're gonna have.
At least they don't have to deal with Bridget Todd.
Yeah, they get all the good ones. Get all the good
At
ones.
least they don't have Bridget Todd on the other side here because now she's gone to Utah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, never to be seen around here again.
Well, I just mean between dealing with Hector and Bryce and this whole mess, like if I was an assistant DA, I'd be like, God, fuck this. Like, gotta mess with this. This sucks. Like,
What if you get a phone call from Hector asking you
to represent him?
him?
I heard, I'm not going to say here, I heard another lawyer's got it. Good for them. I don't want anywhere. I don't want to touch this shit with a 10-foot pole. Like, I don't want anybody else in the community hating me anymore for just saying that I think this thing was conducted improperly. Somebody else can represent. I got to, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good, Hector. You're on your own, bro. I'm sure you'll find a good lawyer.
I'm gangster.
I just don't. I've talked about it too much in the media at this point.
Yeah, I'm not on board with you taking that case.
Yeah, I'm sure you want it. You're on board with everything else, like every other case. You're like, take that guy. Like, okay. You're like, the axe murder is perfect for our law firm.
No, I say take the innocent ones. The innocent. Oh, look at Michael Smith. Hey, Michael. Michael's watching. Michael's like, I don't want that.
Speaking of one of our prosecutor friends over there, that's right.
Michael's like, I'd rather take this than another child mom killer.
Yeah, that's right.
And Bridget Todd on the other side. I mean, this would probably be a day in the park for him after working that case.
Yeah, I mean, that's like Bridget Todd live from Utah now. So, she's just that into skiing and hiking that she had to move quickly, right? That's it.
I think there were some probably other reasons she had to move quickly, but we won't go there tonight.
Yeah, that's it.
There's been enough crazy for today. We can't bring Bridget Todd into this.
But like I said on one of the threads, I'll represent anyone except for Chokeway. Anyone else is game, I'll represent them.
No.
Okay, except for Custodia, I guess now, because I've talked about it. His baby mama hates me, and it's a conflict of interest. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure probably do something eventually, I would imagine. But yeah, that's about the size of it. It's gonna be interesting situation to follow through the months and see what happens with that. But like we got, I mean, this is the way this town is. We got so much good stories for such a small state and small city. You never run out of a news story like this. I mean, it's crazy. Like on your Easter weekend, we were just chilling Friday and we're like, oh, nothing's gonna happen, cool and relax, and then this shit happens and you're like,
no, we started out watching and we were already disagreeing because the whole 7 women to space and
I'm not talking about that. Yeah, that's not a sore
subject.
Yeah.
Then this popped up and I was like, you have to watch this. This just happened. This just happened an hour ago. This is crazy. And Shaun's like, I'm not worried about that. Like, I'm cooking, I'm putting stuff on the grill. And then he came again. I was like, no, you don't understand. They're about to go make him tell his boss. Yeah. And then Shaun sits down. He's like, I got to see this.
Yeah, I had to see. I mean, and if you see him, like everybody, look, it sucks. He's like a child predator. I get it. But like, you see him, you're like, when he told him to tell his boss, I'm
no.
I didn't feel.
You don't get to feel bad for
I didn't say I felt bad for him. I'm just saying I was thinking about the anxiety that one has at that moment. And then when he went to the car dudes, they were just, guys like, man, car dudes, I got a lot of car dealers. We're knee. I know car dudes, like they work at car dealerships. I've been friends with these people my whole life. Like they're just guys like chilling and they're like, hey, here's the pedophile. And they're sitting there, yeah, man, like dipping and shit. Like it's like, what the fuck do we do?
They make him get the phone and actually call the boss. And he said, he said, well, I messed up, but it's not going to affect my job in any way.
Yeah,
it's not going to affect my work. And I was
I'll be here Monday morning. And then the boss is like, yeah, and so will the police.
Will not.
Yeah.
Great job to Fowler. 30 minutes.
Yeah, they were. Well, I mean, what were they gonna do? They had to do that. I mean, that's just it's a liability for them, obviously. To keep
yeah. But I mean, not only that, but he's not even allowed on the premises anymore. I think they handled it really well, and maybe they didn't release a statement as quickly as I would have liked for them to. But
it was Easter
weekend.
Have grace during the Lord's weekend.
I know. Well, I said that this morning and tonight, and it was Easter weekend, and I felt like the statement was perfect that they put out. It couldn't have been any better.
They did. They had a shocking situation develop on a holiday weekend. I mean, I can't think of a worse weekend.
Friday.
It was like Christmas Eve or some shit like that. You're like, oh,
this was basically.
I know, that's what I mean. Like it's like that kind of weekend. So like you're like, oh, this is perfect, And I mean, yeah.
Poor guy. I hope though that this ends up putting them in a better light than they've ever been because of the way they've handled it. I think they handled it with grace and class, and couldn't have done a better job. And maybe this will even be a boost in their sales. I hope that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I hope so. I hope that the community rallies behind them, knows they did the right thing, and that they were a victim in all this.
Yeah.
And so that's when, yeah, I hope that really does happen. I think it will. We're Mississippians are, generally, all joking aside, good people and can see through things, and hopefully,
Most of us.
yeah, most of us, unless you're messaging a 15-year-old girl, like that's probably not a good idea. I won't do that.
No, don't do that.
I'd recommend that. Guys, that's my legal advice to you too. You get on Tinder and she says she's 15, time to get off Tinder. Like, just get off. Just throw your phone, like put it in the water, or like do whatever you got to do.
To be 18 to be on Tinder. It's when they come off of Tinder and head on over to Snapchat that they say, hey, I'm not actually 18, I'm 15.
If she starts using words that you don't know from your generation, that's when it's a problem. Like, there's these words that I hear from younger people that I have glaze. Like, what's glaze? I don't know what the hell that Riz.
Yeah.
Like, if there's like vernacular that you don't understand, then that's the time to end the conversation. If you're like, oh,
my 13-year-old daughter got in the car the other day and said he was trying to put the Riz on me, and I about fell
what the hell
out.
is that, man?
Charisma, like flirting.
No, I'm just saying.
And I was, but you know what that sounded like to me?
What?
Well,
I can't say it. Yeah. The it's it's like us. I'm still saying rad and awesome from the 80s and 90s, right? Yeah, I'm one step far. I'm one step away from far out and groovy. Like,
those were my dad's words.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like if you're in the message conversation, then the girl starts using those words like glaze or riz, it's like, all right, it's time to be like, yeah, this is we're probably not in the same generation, and it's time to end this conversation. And how about, fellas, just date girls within your age parameters? I'm not, like, that's just, come on, just be real. If you're 50, like, the 15-year-old probably doesn't want to go out with you. Like, you should go out with her anyway, but. Or the 18-year-old, or even the 20-year-old, don't do it. Just don't do it. Just date women your own age, man. It's cool.
Or just don't. Just don't date.
Unless you're
stay away from kids.
I'm not talking to you, Renee, if you're listening. I didn't mean you.
Stop it.
Like, I don't mean you, but anybody else, just try to date within your own age parameters, and you'll be okay. You will never be in your car dealership with a dude from Arkansas coming in and live streaming you on Facebook. This just won't happen. Like, if you just live by these basic rules of life, that will never happen to you, and you can just live a happy life and everything's fine.
You know who I feel sorry for the most is this kid, Hector, and crazy redhead.
Crazy baby mama.
Yeah, their kid. Poor kid.
Yeah. I mean, because
sexual predator for a dad and a mom who's way out there.
That's rough. No, you're right. I didn't think about that. I mean, looks like a nice kid. I hope he's okay. That's got to be pretty traumatic.
10-year-old,
or both ways around. And also the thing that sticks to you, like, your friends when you're older can look this up, like, bro, those are your dad. You know what I mean? Like, this never goes away.
It's out there forever.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the trauma of growing up in the 21st century for young people, I think.
Yeah.
That everything to do is like automatically stamped forever. Not like when we were younger, where like nobody knows about that shit.
I'm so thankful there weren't cameras around and videos around.
Nobody knows about me shooting a potato gun off the King Edward. I mean, if I did that, like, there is no documentary evidence of shooting downtown Jackson office building windows out in the 90s. Like, no one will ever know that except if I admit to it.
Way too much Jägermeister and ended up in my white terry cloth skirt in a pool.
Yeah.
That didn't turn out so well.
With Jägermeister?
Yeah, I'm from Yazoo City,
Jeez. Country people. So.
Thought I was dying.
There's just all those events from the 90s and early 2000s that, I had them documented on those. You guys remember when you bought those cameras that you could throw away from like Hector'S or Walgreens or whatever?
My mom still uses those.
Yeah, I mean, like those pictures, I've gotten some of them all, but they're not, I lost a lot just like everybody else. And I mean, I still have some photo albums. And the only time you can see that if I actually go get my photo album, you can't just, it's not like it's on the internet, but let's make a look at
it. Or just get your phone out and you can pull up anything,
Yeah, I mean, it's too much. And it was just like I was talking about on our live, even back then in the days, the old porn bartering days when you'd train porn tapes, VHS cassettes, and
that is banned around here. That is banned.
Just get it off the internet now. You have to actually it was like a porn Silk Road. You'd have to just trade the tapes.
None of that in Mississippi.
So that was a different time that we all lived in. It was wonderful, and there's no documentary evidence, which makes it the best
Thank
ever.
God.
But these kids are in a little different world. So just like, if Hector had done this in like 1990, dude, that dude would be working in another dealership by like 1993. It'd been fine.
Would have been forgiven because nobody
But
would have all the
now,
evidence.
now he could go to like Sheboygan, and they're gonna pull out like, oh, you're that guy from Jackson. Like, that's kind of well,
Pearl from Pearl.
yeah, Pearl, right? I mean, so yeah, it's not good. It's a tough end. The internet has exposed. It's done a lot of wonderful things, which is just good to expose this kind of stuff, but it's also done a lot of bad things with even innocent things can stick to you, like the terry cloth Jägermeister you were talking about, or shooting potato guns off the King Edward, stuff like that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So, but yeah, so that was an interesting day. It was a crazy day with this. I'm glad it's over with. I'm really tired, and because it's been really long and a lot of stressful, and I just hope that maybe
a lot of crazy.
Hopefully,
a lot of crazy today.
Hopefully, Hector's baby's mama will just go back to her lair,
all back in her hole wherever she can.
Yeah, and just leave everybody alone, and worry about her own self. And hopefully for that. But tomorrow we're going to be back to talk Jackson politics. Tomorrow may be the end of the emperor. That's what I'm calling it. The end of his reign.
Reign of terror, reign of murder and garbage and sewer water and all the bad things.
The end of his genocide in Jackson, enabled by Chokwe Lumumba's administration. It feels like it's like regime change. I need a Toyota truck and a machine gun, and I'd feel better for this. It's like regime change on a budget.
I've got several notifications on my phone today about shootings in Jackson.
Yeah,
they're
celebratory guns, like for tomorrow.
Are they?
Yes.
Are they potato guns?
They might be a potato gun. I don't know. But yeah, so tomorrow it could be we should call tomorrow Independence Day, because we might actually be independent from Chokwe Lumumba and this reign of terror for once and for all after 8 long, arduous years. Hopefully. So we're going to go live. I think maybe around 8 or 8:30. Is that right?
Yeah, we want to wait until,
some results come back.
Yeah. When you go live and then nothing comes back for a long time, you're just sitting here.
Yeah.
What do we say?
I know, it's like we need to bring like a TV in here or something, or or something like
that. I know.
Here's bring the one from that's actually a good idea. I might do that. Bring that in and just kind of set it up over there.
I mean, do you remember the last time 3 weeks ago you had my iPad and my phone and your phone? You had all the devices over there.
Yeah, we'll try to bring a TV and kind of like discuss the whole election. There's some really good articles out there about the precinct breakdowns from Mississippi Today. Jackson Jambalaya got it up too, talking about like how John Horn won the entire city, even if you take out Ward 1, which is what they call the Northeast Jackson Republican.
And y'all aren't supposed to be allowed to vote.
Yeah, that's right. According to David Archie, white people can't vote. I'm voting. I'm standing power to the people. Like I'm going to go vote.
The white people.
I'm going to go. Yeah,
I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's a little.
That was obviously a joke. No. What I meant by that is that's what they're saying is that the white people have. You know what I meant, Shaun.
Okay, that's right.
You absolutely know what I meant.
Yeah, okay.
That's what they're saying is that
David Duke.
David Duke.
Oh, never mind. Just it's all right. Yeah. So apparently David Archie has said that over the cane that white people shouldn't be allowed to vote in virtue of.
That's what I was referring to, by the way.
And which is amazing, like reversal of the white segregation. It's in the 1950s, 60s that said black people can't vote. Now they're saying that they don't want white. It's just amazing, that kind of hypocrisy. But anyway, I'm going to go vote tomorrow. And I hope everybody, no matter your race, color, creed, sex, whatever, I hope you go vote tomorrow and you get rid of this dude. I think we all want it. Results in the primary showed that we wanted it. Again, like I was saying, if you take out Ward 1, John Horn's reduction from 48 goes from 48 to 44%, where Chokwe only increases by 2% to like 19%. So Horn would have blown him out without even any Republican votes that they're complaining about.
But he's conservative at heart.
That's right.
Radical. He's conservative at heart.
He is. He's very conservative, and he's probably going to tell his cellmate that I can't have gay sex because I'm a conservative. Like he's probably going to say that. He's like, I'm not in this religion. I can't do it. I don't know that his cellmate's going to agree to him on that one, though. So sorry, Chokwe. You'll have a lot of sex and
maybe
take a lot of license plates.
Maybe he and Jody will be in there together. Who knows?
No, it might be fun times. So we'll see. But we're going to talk about that tomorrow. It's going to be an exciting night. Hopefully.
Yeah, and of course tomorrow we'll be live at noon. 12 by 7 to 1.
Yeah, we'll talk elections tomorrow for
Talk
noon.
about,
Yeah.
talk about the election then.
And
And then
that's
we'll be all electioned out by the end of tomorrow night once we get to celebrate the fact that Chokeway is gone for good.
that'll be our, and then we'll recap it on Wednesday, and then we'll go into the real election season when it's going to be. There's still some interesting other candidates you got out there that are our own Kim Wade is
Kim Wade,
for mayor.
that's right. Rodney
WYB.
DePriest.
Rodney DePriest and
think-
Zach Service. And
Don't count out Rodney DePriest. I mean,
that's what I hear. That's what I hear. People say that. So people are saying, as Trump would say, people are saying
it's going to be huge.
So there's gonna be that, but the biggest thing to me tomorrow is that Chokwe Lumumba being gone. I don't care who wins after that point. That's why.
What is it? Carpools, not carjackings. Hashtag.
That's the whitest shit I've ever heard in my life. I'm sorry, Jill. I didn't mean it. This is great, but that was very white.
It's true. We do
very
less carjackings.
That's the whitest little thing I've ever seen. Maybe that and polka music, but anyway. So we'll go on to that all tomorrow. All will be election, nothing but election, blah blah blah, and then hopefully or not hopefully this weekend will be not as busy. Maybe there will not be a child molester sting or whatever it is happening. A space alien will come down to Jackson or whatever the heck, and then the next week we're going to Boston. So hopefully there won't have anything happen then. I hope not.
And we are not going to the haunted hotel.
No, I did. I changed up just because you did not want to go to the haunted hotel.
I don't like haunted.
So yeah. Anyway, well, everybody, I know you got enough of us today. We've been on the air back and forth. So I hope you got enough of your Hector Custode stuff and his wild and crazy baby mama and all that fun stuff. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow at noon. So tune in to 103.9 WIB or check us on YouTube or Facebook.
Crossing the Aisle with Shaun and
Lindsey.
Lindsey.
Have a great